Sometimes it doesn't matter how much a child wants to learn or improve or change the way they behave. If adults are against them from the get go, what chance do they really have? This is what we see with Reece. Reece is the child Cathy Glass fosters in Mummy Told Me Not to Tell, and we very quickly learn that Reece, a 7-year-old little boy, has come from a lot of neglect, a mother who claims to love her children, but who has definitely not looked after them. And his mother is loud, she's violent, she encourages his bad behaviour, including biting people. She nicknames him Sharky, doesn't really give him into trouble for this. He's never had any discipline. And there are certain things that he says that suggest there may be more to this neglect, potential abuse, than meets the eye. But I won't say too much more about that because I don't want to spoil too much about what is revealed as the book progresses. But what's really great about this is that straight away, Cathy realizes this very quickly, is that Reece really wants to learn. And that when he is away from his mother, he's actually quite a pleasant boy. He definitely wants the approval of adults. He wants to do the right thing, but obviously, having been raised by a parent like his mother, he doesn't always know what that right thing to do is. And this is one of the most frustrating books because, well, for two reasons. The first is that we see him making good progress, and then every time he has contact with his mother, um, he kind of regresses a little bit and starts to have some of his bad behavior again. And there was this one scene in this book. I won't spoil too much, I won't go into too much detail, but it's after the first contact session, and Cathy goes to pick up Reece from contact, and contact has taken place with Reece's mother and also his two oldest siblings who are in care, or two of his older siblings, two brothers, and then his older sister who is also in care. And then we have, I think, an 18-year-old, 17 or 18-year-old, who is his oldest sister, who is basically mirroring everything her mother does. And there's just this brawl in the parking lot, play fighting really, but I can just hear the noise, the sheer level of screeching and yelling and shouting and lack of consideration for anybody, and it just made me feel sick. I don't like noise at the best of times, but I could just feel if this is what it was like in that house constantly, it would have been such a horrendous environment. And you can definitely see Reece's learned behaviour and where that comes from. And it's just so frustrating as a reader, seeing Reece make progress and then being reunited with his family at contact and having these bad behaviours reinforced by his family. I can only imagine how frustrating that would be for Cathy Glass or the other foster carers having to deal with this. But the other frustrating thing is that Reece was out of school for quite a long time because, quite frankly, it was difficult to get him into a school because he'd been excluded from quite a few. But then he is forced into a school. This school is forced to take him, and straight away the head teacher is completely against this because, well, he claims they don't have the ability to support a child with Reece's needs, but it is definitely just the case that they don't want a child like Reece in their school. And yeah, I can completely understand that. If your school's working in a harmony, you don't really have that many problem students, why would you want to bring one into the fold? But if you have that negative mindset and just assume straight away that child is going to fail, then they will. Because they look to you for support, for approval, and if you're constantly picking out all of their faults and not praising the good things that they do, then of course they're going to lash out. Not that I'm saying that Reece had excuses for his behaviour, but if you don't support a child in need, how do you ever expect them to succeed? And I really wanted to shake him by the shoulders, the head, not Reece. Although, to be fair, sometimes I wanted to shake Reece by the shoulders too. But the head just didn't seem to see that he was causing a lot of these problems because of the way Reece was treated. It was very badly handled, and there were a lot of learning for a lot of people to do. I did enjoy the book. I enjoyed it a lot. I wanted the best for Reece. I really was. This is the second time I've read it, but I couldn't really remember what happened. I could remember Reece, but not the details. And what I will say about this is that it holds back some information, some really shocking information, until quite near the end, which is unusual because usually the shocking bits are revealed usually by the halfway point, and after that it's all about just picking them apart in more detail and getting to know these issues more and finding ways to overcome them, but actually this holds information back. And I was quite pleased by that. I thought it worked very well. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely provides a lot of food for thought about what family means, and certainly what family means to Reese's mother. And it's definitely one that I liked. Having said that, I like pretty much all of Cathy Glass's books. If you haven't read it, thoroughly recommend it. If you're new to Cathy Glass's books, it's as good a place to start as any, but now that I'm reading chronologically, I can definitely see that there's benefit to doing that way. I'm really enjoying them, reading them in order, and Mummy Told Me Not to Tell is definitely a really good read.